Mr. Mayor and esteemed councillors, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to voice my concerns about the direction our municipality would be heading if this rural zoning bylaw restructure is passed. I moved to Victoria County in 1995. I raised my kids here and operate my small family farm business. I ran for the Green Party in the last federal election, also ran for last year for the council here, and I'm here to hold you accountable. Canada signed onto UN Agenda 21 in 1992, became a UN member state, and since has seen its small towns and rural areas amalgamated into UN city-states. Canada is now being governed by the direction of the United Nations, G7, G20, the Council of Foreign Relations, the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, and an organization you're probably quite familiar with, the International Council on Local Environmental Initiatives. That acronym is pronounced ICLEI. The International Consulting Group is working through organizations such as WSP, the firm that drafted this restructure. In 1994, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities sent out the municipal primer outlining the restructure of our local governments. Eventually, despite the best efforts of many wise people, including some who have passed away, our elected mayor and councillors were partnered with a private corporation calling itself City of Kawartha Lakes, bringing in a CAO to implement the global agenda, outsourcing consultation to organizations partnered with ICLEI, and redirecting public funds and assets to private development goals and foreign investors. This was an undemocratic amalgamation, hijacking the former Victoria County despite a local referendum which opposed it. Now, to the items on your agenda, the restructuring of our rural zoning bylaws. Combined with the passing of this so-called official plan that drives all growth to settlement areas and away from our small towns and villages, these new bylaws will be the death stroke to the rural districts. We have lost banks, service centers, libraries, and schools in towns which used to be thriving hubs of commerce and community. Kinmount, Norland, Kobe, Burnt River, Cambrai, and more. These initiatives are clearly not in the best interest of our rural communities like Woodville, which if passed, will be downgraded. Building high-density housing in urban areas only, while our infrastructure, medical, policing, and school systems are already operating over capacity, is a recipe for disaster. Yet, this rural zoning bylaw restricts the severing of lots to build custom homes by local builders along rural roads. Homes with gardens, individual septics, and technologies such as geothermal and solar would represent true sustainability, develop and enhance the outskirts of our small towns. Furthermore, it will restrict new food processing facilities in the 3 agricultural zones, but will allow new marijuana processing plants in all of those zones. Now, what are all those new people in the settlement areas going to do when they get the munchies? But seriously, this is an agricultural area and our food should be allowed to be processed locally. This is basic common sense. These restrictive bylaws and the official plan pushed through today drive all future growth to settlement areas, restrict the rights of property owners, target our mobility rights, and are drafted by unelected city staff in consultation with internationally funded organizations like ICLEI and WSP. Posting links and holding information sessions online is not effective public consultation. Many of our rural homes do not have internet. CKL website claims the participation and public input of only 80 people in this process. That affects over 78,000 and soon to be more. That's a ratio of about 1 to 1,000. I believe, I was just told actually, that we have 70 people in the gallery today. By those standards, we are representing the 78,000 now. And I'm saying we're in opposition to this. The plans and bylaws for any community should be based on engagement with those who live and work in that community, not those from outside, and certainly not those from international organizations. Regardless of Canada being a UN member, no level of government has the authority to implement foreign mandates, policies, treaties, or any agreements that violate the Canadian Constitution, the Charter of Rights and Freedom, the Bill of Rights, or the Coronation Oath. Amen. Conspiring with foreign powers conspiring with foreign powers to assist in any act preparatory to the takeover of our nation is an act of treason according to section 46(1) of the Canadian Criminal Code. Sorry, not done, not done. With that, I would like to speak directly, frankly, and friendly to the elected mayor and council to present a plan to save the rural communities of Kawartha Lakes and the integrity of your positions. The private partnership with the private corporation called City of Kawartha Lakes is fraudulent. Now, you have an opportunity to set an example for the rest of this country, as this is not the only municipality in this situation. You, who are the elected, you are the government. The city staff is not the government. You are elected. You have the power and the authority of we, the people. Prior to the Municipal Act of 2001, every mayor appointed their own city staff locally. You have the power to hire them, and you have the power to fire them. The people of this area want to support you to making the right decisions. We want to stand behind you and help you step into your true authority as mayor and of council, because it's been taken from you, and when it's taken from you, you can no longer protect us. And it's got to the point where we need you guys to step up. Failing that, notices of liability have been drafted and are already being distributed to mayors, councillors, CAOs, and city staff nationwide. We don't want to have to serve you with notices of liability, but this is an act of treason, and it is serious. So today, we are asking you, I'm wrapping up. So today we are asking you to act in the best interest of our small towns and villages. The people here today will stand behind you, as will our country. We are asking you to delay the approval of this detrimental rural rezoning and seek genuine public consultation. I have packages here, information for everybody, and copies of my deputation. And with that, I am happy to respond to any questions y'all may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the deputy? Councillor Ashmore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Angel and Kirsten, for coming today. I just have a couple of questions. I'm going to be extracting this shortly. I've requested that this be extracted, and I've never changed my position on this, but my opinion is that we should have an extension for the public to comment. How many days would you say really we should have for more public consultation on this?
At least 2 months.
Okay.
This morning at the restaurant, I spoke to a number of our local farmers, the DeVosses, the McEwens, Masons. None of them know have never even heard that there was a consultation.
And this affects their properties.
Steve, who works our land, lives in Woodville. He has no clue what just happened or what is about to happen. People need to have an opportunity to go through. Your website is a nightmare. It took us about 6 hours to actually find the new zoning bylaws. And then my husband has spent 3 days now still trying to sift through how it affects us. For a start, this town has put us through 3 drainage acts. Our property is now drained. We didn't want it drained, but it's drained. But your zoning still has it under EP. No, thank you. We're not a swamp anymore. So all of us need to look at our properties and make sure that these things are corrected. We can't pay for your drains and pay and then not be allowed to use our own land that you've drained and destroyed.
Any other questions from council?
So the people need to know. They have not been informed. I know on your website you claim that you've had public meetings, but no one I know knows about it. And I know a lot of people.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Seeing none, can I have a motion to receive the deputation from Ms. Godsoe and Dr. Kelly? Councillor Ashmore, Deputy Mayor Richardson, all in favor? Thank you. That's passed. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much for coming today.